Out live to Oliviana Calmes, who is on the tarmac to give us a taste, Oliviana, of what's happening there. A lot of folks excited.
Steve, Brittany, is exciting. There's about over 100 Alabama fans out here just waiting to see what's coming up next. You know, it was 17 years ago. WBRC was right here on this tarmac waiting for Nick Saban and Miss Carey to come down here. And now we're looking for the new Crimson Tide head coach, Kalen DeBoer. And like I said, there's people bringing their pom-poms out here. Might be a little bit chilly, but that hasn't stopped any of these people from gathering up next to the gate. And I've got my eye on this side here to watch the plane come down as well. But they are excited to see Coach DeBoer and see what he'll do for the team. He just finished his second year with the Huskies. We know he's got a 25-3 record over 2 seasons at Washington that included a Pac-12 conference championship title last season. His overall record as a head coach is 104-12. DeBoer's contract with Washington comes with a $12 million buyout. And I've spoken to students who are, their biggest question now is recruitment. Who is DeBoer going to bring on his team to make it stronger, and who is he going to work well with the players? You know, he's got a team meeting tonight. We'll continue to wait and watch that. But it looks like they're coming down the tarmac right now, so I'm going to tell you to toss it on over to our other camera crew here so you can see that right now. Live in Tuscaloosa, Oliviana Calmes, WBRC, Fox 6 News on your side.
Thanks, Oliviana. We understand that the plane is in fact landing right now, and there you see it, the plane carrying Kalen DeBoer in from Seattle, the former University of Washington Huskies head football coach, now the University of Alabama's head football coach. He doesn't have a lot of time to waste there on the tarmac. He is scheduled for a 9 p.m. meeting with the team, the first meeting that they've had since learning that Nick Saban was retiring. So what a week for these players who may not have expected this turn of events at the beginning of the week, but here we are. So a huge day for University of Alabama athletics. Again, athletic director Greg Byrne in the building on a big day.
Right, and I think it's so exciting to hear the fans at the airport really gathering around, ready to welcome DeBoer to Tuscaloosa. The culture of football here is intense. It is in your blood. So we definitely want you to get a feel of what it means to the fans who are waiting for him at that airport. And as you just saw it live, DeBoer landing right there in Tuscaloosa. And we have our very own Mike Dubberly waiting by to talk to us about this momentous moment.
That's right. Mike covered sports for many years here at WBRC before becoming our one of our Good Day Alabama anchors. He joins us by phone. Mike, what's going through your mind, having been here when Coach Saban arrived 17 years ago? What's going through your mind tonight as you see these live pictures?
Well, it's just it's an interesting beginning of a new era in Alabama football. I should clarify, I was actually in Miami, watching it live from the feed down there because I was down there, before he left. But Saban got to Tuscaloosa. But, it's a new era, and, it's a guy who's been a proven winner, really, on every level he's been on. He's got a 104-12 record overall. Now, most of those wins were in the NAIA level, but he won 3 national championships there. He took over a Fresno State program, turned them into winners, one of those years altered by COVID, and then goes to Washington, takes a program there that was, basically in dire straits, turned them around, took them to the national championship game in his second year. So he's got an impressive resume. You talk to people, he is good with player development, good with getting them in relationships with players, and that's so important. If you read Coach Saban's statement, Coach Saban knows him very well, and actually tried to hire the offensive coordinator at the University of Washington. It's going to be interesting to see if Coach DeBoer can get him to come with him, or if Washington will end up hiring his offensive coordinator to replace DeBoer. But, again, the guy's a proven winner. He's a go-getter. Now, I don't know if he's going to win. People talk about winning the press conference, like when that happens tomorrow. That's so overrated these days. Now, especially with the landscape of college football, it's all about relationships with players. It's the NIL. It's the transfer portal. And now, he didn't have a lot of 5-star players at the University of Washington, but he's going to have more resources at Alabama. He's going to have a bigger NIL collective. So, and I know a lot of people are asking, they're like, well, he's never recruited in the South. look, he'll have to prove himself. But, Nick Saban had to prove himself. When he went to LSU, he had never recruited in the South before. So, when you talk to people, they really believe this guy's made with the right stuff. But look, it doesn't matter who they were going to hire. Unless you can clone Nick Saban, you're not going to get another Nick Saban. That's just reality.
Well, so here's the situation, Mike. We've got this team meeting in less than 20 minutes now. You say DeBoer is known for being good with players. So what does he say to this team in about 20 minutes when he arrives on campus?
Win them over. He's got to get them to buy in. I mean, they're used to a different style of coach. Now, this guy is no nonsense, but he's not Coach Saban. He's not that type of guy. But he's energetic. He's enthusiastic. And obviously he's going to have to win them over, and it's not going to happen in one meeting. But he is going to have to make a very good first impression. But when you see him talking, I know who are still covering college football on a national level, they have nothing but good things to say about this guy when they meet him on a one-on-one level. They see him interact with players, and so I think that's not his biggest challenge on the onset. He's got to get some of these guys who are leaving. Isaiah Bond's in the transfer portal. You got Ryan Wims, the 5-star recruit out of Saraland. He's decommitted to Alabama. He's got to try to get some of those guys back in the fold and sell them. Say, hey, look. We're going to light it up on offense. There's no reason for you not to recommit to Alabama or come to Alabama. That's going to be his biggest priority.
Let's thank you, Mike, for all that insight. We want to ask you to hang by for just a minute.
That's right, because we do want to go back to the tarmac where Oliviana Calmes is live right now speaking to those fans. Oliviana, we heard them earlier as we were getting ready for the break-in to talk to folks. Folks saying, roll tide out there. Tell us, what are the fans thinking?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Brittany. People are so excited. You can barely hear yourself speak here. I'm here with Evan Knight. He's an alumni from this past spring. Tell me just about the excitement right now.
Yeah, well, you can hear it as the plane just pulled up, and it's obviously 17 years in the making. The last time we had a coach pull up to this tarmac, it was the start of greatness. So I think these fans have some big expectations right now.
Bama fans always do, right? But these are big shoes to fill. What's your excitement surrounding Coach DeBoer specifically?
I'm excited to see him make this program his own, not try to fill Nick's shoes, and really just, hopefully win more national championships and make something out of this.
Yes, and we are seeing the plane roll up right now. They just put out those stairs. We are seeing him about to come up now, but this is so exciting. People have got they're cheering. They've got their pom-poms out. They just brought their excitement tonight, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. There's live streams. The last time this happened, phones weren't out here, so this is crazy to see.
That's so true. 17 years, and a lot of the college students are only 18, 24, and less than that. So, here we go. We got the chant going right now. They're so much excited. I'm going to toss it right back to you, Brittany and Steve, and we're watching that come up right now.
Thanks, Oliviana. And we just saw the doors of the plane open. Greg Byrne and his wife, I believe, stepping onto the plane to welcome DeBoer to Alabama. Let's see how long it takes them to exit the plane and perhaps greet some of the fans who are gathered there. Again, not a whole lot of time to hang out at the airport because he's got that 9 p.m. Player meeting scheduled, but a huge day for University of Alabama football.
And you can hear the fans in the background chanting. They have been really excited to welcome DeBoer to Tuscaloosa. And as you said, he does have that meeting with the football team in less than 20 minutes now. And hopefully he makes it to that meeting on time. But, there's no rushing him. Let's let him get a feel of the South and coming into Alabama and feel that love as he exits the plane here. That private charter jet just landing in Tuscaloosa less than 5 minutes ago, actually. And you got to see it live here on air as he landed there. And our crew's out there with the fans. A lot of people have high hopes and giving him an opportunity to start his tenure, because we haven't done this. We haven't seen here in 17 years? In
17 years, yeah. And with State Patrol and Tuscaloosa Police on the scene, I think it's going to be a relatively quick trip to campus, just about a 10-minute drive, but might be a little bit quicker than that.
Oh, yeah, with that escort, for sure.
Absolutely. But waiting to see if any of DeBoer's family, his wife Nicole, his daughters Avery and Alexis, may have made the trip with him. His daughter Alexis, a softball player at Washington. If there is a transfer portal for softball players, perhaps she'll make her way to Tuscaloosa sometime soon. But again, quite a process here this week. What a turn of events. I think everybody blindsided by the news that the legendary Nick Saban was retiring, and here we go. Here's Greg Byrne exiting the plane.
There he is, right there behind Greg Byrne.
Can't hear anything, but that does look like the family there. The new face of Alabama football, Kalen DeBoer, has touched down in Tuscaloosa. Mike W. still with us, and tell me what your thoughts are at this moment.
Well, I mean, he's definitely going to have to get busy trying to build a staff there. He's got some good coaches that are already there. A lot of people are going to be wondering what's going to happen with some of those guys who have been entrenched there, guys like Freddie Roach, and see maybe if he'll hang on to some of those. But there he is. I'm on a delay here, so I'm actually seeing a little bit of this after. You mentioned his daughter, who's committed to the University of Washington, which obviously is a very good softball program in its own right, winning a national championship in 2009. I'd imagine Pat Murphy, the softball coach at Alabama, might be doing a little bit of recruiting himself.
Yeah.
All right, Dub. Well, hold on, Dub. Let's wait 1 second with you, and we're going to get back out there to Oliviana Calmes, who is live on the tarmac with the fans welcoming DeBoer here with cheers. Oliviana, what are people thinking right now?
Brittany, it looks like he's shaking every hand out there, so everyone's just anxiously watching and waiting. But I will say, we're packed in here. It kind of feels like I'm at an Alabama game right now. And the feeling here really is just excitement and new beginnings. Of course, there's, like I've been saying all evening, big shoes to fill, the legacy that Saban left here. But right now, everyone's got their live streams going. Everyone's got their iPhone on, and we just have chants and yelling and excitement here. But, I mean, really, we're hoping to see what his tone is as he introduces himself to the team. You know, we've got that team meeting coming up very, very soon here, and students I've spoken to are just saying that they hope to see how that relationship goes, how recruitment goes. That's a big thing. But tonight is all about that Bama football love. Like I said, you can probably hear it. It sounds like I'm at a Bama game right now with all the Roll Tides right now. So, I mean, this is a big moment for the school. This is a big moment for the state of Alabama with the legacy that Saban has left here. So we're watching him kind of walk up, and here he is right now. He's turning up. He's walking right past us. There he goes. He's high-fiving everybody who's walking past, even through the gate. We're seeing his family go by, and we are just seeing the excitement as they are cheering. As it goes down, it's almost like the wave of people's pom-poms and yelling, kids on shoulders because of how packed in we are. Like I said, we're looking forward to that team meeting that'll happen very soon here to figure out what he's got next, what he's got in store. I'm sending it back to you, Steve. Brittany.
Saw the picture of the night, the DeBoer family greeting fans with huge smiles on their faces, indicating they're happy to be here. They're excited about this situation. Let's go back to Mike Dubberly. I think, Mike, seeing Greg Byrne there in the red jacket, who has to be breathing a huge sigh of relief tonight.
Well, and I think they really zeroed in on him. And look, I don't have any inside knowledge, but I know there were some other names bandied about, but all those names were shared one thing in common, and that is the powerful sports agent Jimmy Sexton. So how much he was at play in this, just trying to get some of his guys, better deals at the places they were at, I'm not sure. But in terms of the guys available, I mean, you're talking again about a guy who's been a proven winner. And, he took his team to the national championship game, came up short with far less talent than, what Alabama and Michigan had. So he'll have to prove himself, there's no doubt. But, it's so much different than it was 17 years ago. There's an entire generation now, a younger generation of Alabama fans who have known nothing but, Alabama being in the national attention for a national championship, playing for an SEC title. They only won one SEC title in 1999. So from 1992 to the time Saban finally won one again in 2009, they'd only won one SEC championship. So is he going to be able to get double-digit wins for 16 straight seasons, whatever it was Saban did? I don't know. But that's the standard, and that's what he knows he's going to have to live up to. And for everybody you talk to, he's ready for that challenge.
Yeah, Mike, I was speaking with an alumni chapter up in Seattle a little bit earlier today, and they were saying they hoped that the fans here give DeBoer a chance to get settled. The person I spoke to graduated in 2009, and she said, in the beginning, they weren't winning, but they had to give Saban a chance to get his groove with the team. Do you think the fans will give DeBoer that chance?
Well, first, but those honeymoons here in the SEC are usually over pretty quick. Look, Washington's got a great fan base, but as you just saw it there at the airport, and I'm sure you'll see at the spring game, and what you saw at Saban's first spring game, Alabama's it's a different thing. And so, his first SEC game is going to be against Georgia.
Welcome to the SEC.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there will be some patience. How long that lasts? It won't be too long if it's not pretty, because it's not like it was when Coach Saban took over. The cupboard's not bare. When Saban took over, he had to recruit, and he recruited his tail off and got that amazing class for 2008, and that eventually led to that championship 2009. Coach Saban's left a lot of 5- and 4-star players in the cupboard, so he's got the resources to work with. But again, his biggest priority right now is trying to sell the players that are still there, recruit them to stay, and also the guys that are on the fence or have decommitted to Alabama that were initially committed to Alabama.
And to that point, Dub, I think one of the most important things going on here today is the indication that this hire has Coach Saban's blessing. We have a statement from the coach. I want to read it to you. He says, "I want nothing more than to see Alabama football continue to be successful, and Coach DeBoer is an outstanding choice to lead this program. He has a proven track record of success and is one of the brightest football minds. Coach DeBoer has an excellent understanding of what it takes to be a successful head coach, whether it's coaching, recruiting, developing players, or building a culture. He has done a fantastic job at every stop of his coaching career, and I'm excited to see what he will be able to accomplish in Tuscaloosa. Terry and I will be here to support Coach DeBoer and his family with anything they need." So that's got to be a nice sort of cushion to be walking into as you arrive in Tuscaloosa, the blessing of Nick Saban.
No doubt, and to have that asset, that resource, and that person to lean on when he needs to know something. And there are a lot of intricacies when it becomes the Alabama program, how things are handled, that he will need to lean on Coach Saban a little bit for that. But to Coach Saban's credit, I've seen some memes and tweets that Coach Saban's going to look over his shoulder. That's not his style. He's not going to do that. He's only going to help if he's asked. And I think Coach DeBoer will ask him certain things. He's going to need to know what recruits they were in on. He's going to need to learn families, high school coaches, and that's the kind of insight that Coach Saban will be able to help him out with. But in terms of X's and O's, I don't think Coach Saban's going to get involved with that type of thing. But again, and the other advantage to having Coach Saban still around is that he is going to be able to put his name out there to try to get people to open their pockets to put money in that name, image, and likeness collective. Because like it or not, that is what college football is nowadays.
Yeah, what a change in the paradigm here, in how coaching works. I think it was Coach Prime who made reference to that, Mike, saying something to the effect that college football has chased one of the greatest coaches from the game by allowing this situation that isn't really regulated in terms of how NIL deals are handled. So,
and I totally get that. And Coach Saban, he has lamented that the direction of college football in that direction, but he's not the only coach who's felt that way. And he tried to make it clear in that interview with my colleague friend Reese Davis that he doesn't want to make it about that he said that was not the reason necessarily that he wanted to get out. It was because of he just didn't feel like he had the energy to go through the grind at his age, and that also his age was and somewhat being used against him in recruiting. It was having an effect on it, I should say.
Yeah, but it is quite a grind, and it's a different grind than it was, as you've been saying, since when he got here. I mean, you recruit players, you are able to keep a core. Some players can transfer, but they're going to have to sit for a year in most cases, and that is completely different now. It's 180 degrees different.
Completely changed. And we had a lot of former players who were from the early years of Coach Saban on Good Day Alabama yesterday morning, and a lot of them talked about that, in that the culture has changed. You got and I'm not knocking any of today's athletes, but they have to be coached differently. A lot of them, if they don't like the way things are going, they're just going to find another place to go play. Instead of trying to stick it out, as you said, in the old days, you would try to stick it out and still earn your spot. So it is a challenge. It is a challenge that every college coach is facing now. But again, I don't think that's what chased Coach Saban off. I just think that he, like a lot of the coaches, they just want things regulated. They want some rules. They want some parameters in place. So it's not the wild, wild west.
Yeah, wild, wild west indeed. And we should point out, again, Coach DeBoer has this meeting in just a few minutes with the players, but he will be introduced formally to the rest of the state during a press conference tomorrow, and we will be there for that. Again, that is 1 o'clock tomorrow at Bryant-Denny Stadium. The rest of the state will officially meet Coach Kalen DeBoer, the new head coach of the University of Alabama Crimson Tide, replacing former, it's going to take a minute to get used to this, former head coach Nick Saban.
Yeah, who says he's going to stick around and help out. And as you saw, our QR code is there on the screen. If this just wasn't enough for you, you need to read more about this transition. You can go ahead and go over to the WBRC News app. We have all of the interviews and behind-the-scenes footage that we've had of Saban in the last few days, and of course, DeBoer landing in Tuscaloosa tonight. We thank you for joining us. And here we do have some information here on the screen for you. Just Nick Saban making statements about this transition and about DeBoer taking lead of this football team and this is a very successful program, just saying he has a track record of success. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here in just a few for the top of the First at 9 news, starting right at 9 o'clock.